In the last 20 years, we have produced as much plastic as in our entire history. Today, humanity is threatened by the monster it has created, like in Frankenstein's tale, except that this is not fiction. The monster is real and is in our bottles, clothes, and buildings. In almost every object we use. It endangers our lives, our seas and oceans. And if we don't want the story to end badly, we'll have to change it soon. The world currently produces 400 million tons of plastic per year, more than 3/4 of which becomes waste. Less than 20% is recycled. As a result, every year 100 million tons end up in the wild and 8 million tons in the oceans. Almost all marine life, from plankton to whales, are already contaminated. Soil and river pollution, coral degradation, CO2 emissions. The magnitude of threats is increasing while hope is shrinking. But what can we do about this? Should we cry over the consequences and give up? Or should we roll up our sleeves and get to the root of the problem? At WWF, we have chosen. When you look at the causes, it's dizzying. From production to consumption and waste management, nothing works. Companies are producing more and more plastic without paying the cost to nature and society. The number of single-use items and packaging is exploding, with, for example, 1 million plastic bottles sold every minute worldwide. And waste treatment is inefficient in most countries. Lack of infrastructure, lack of political will, lack of education. Everything is lacking except the plastic. This is a crisis for the whole planet, but let us look at our home, the Mediterranean. With its legendary beaches, its dream climate, its sunsets, it should be heaven. But it has become a plastic hell. 22 countries and territories and more than 200 million tourists produce 24 million tons of plastic waste each year. No Mediterranean state is able to collect it and recycle it properly. More than half of this waste ends up in landfills or is incinerated. 1/4 ends up in the wild. The Mediterranean Sea swallows over 600,000 tons of plastic every year. Imagine the postcard. So what can we do? The solution is in 3 words. 1. Reduce. 2. Reuse. 3. Recycle. Everyone can act to avoid disaster. People are increasingly avoiding plastic products and sorting their waste. That is fine, but it will not be enough to solve the problem. Companies, cities and states must also act to stop plastic waste by 1. Reducing their production and use of plastic, 2. Promoting reuse, and 3. Improving collection and recycling. A first step towards this collective commitment could be the adoption of a binding regional agreement to stop plastic pollution. An agreement that all Mediterranean states must support and implement if they wish to save our sea. If we all become aware of the extent and urgency of the crisis, we can save the Mediterranean from plastic pollution before the monster we have created swallows up our seas and our future.